Hello, folks. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. So, President Trump today gave another 70-minute news conference, pulling no punches. Greenland, Panama Canal, the Gulf of America. It was a big, beautiful news conference. Senators Tommy Tuberville and Tim Sheehy will join us on all that in just a moment, plus Newt Gingrich going to be waiting in the wings. But first up, the Gulf of America sounds just perfect to me, and that's the subject of the riff. So let's start right there. Gulf of America. It was, of course, the Gulf of Mexico, but that was named in the 16th century, before the United States of America even existed. So Gulf of Mexico sounds rather outdated to me. It's time for a change. So Mr. Trump basically said Gulf of America has a big, beautiful ring to it. Sounds a lot like his endorsement of one big, beautiful budget bill to cut taxes and seal the border. But speaking of sealing the border, it doesn't sound at all like Mexican President Sheinbaum has yet done very much to help the U.S. seal the southern border, for example, with 25,000 troops that helped ensure President Trump's first-term success of remain in Mexico. He threatened a 25% tariff on Mexico if they don't cooperate, and he repeated that today. Well, whatever happened to the Monroe Doctrine? That was codified over 200 years ago that the U.S. will not permit European interference in Latin America. When you toss in the Panama Canal that Mr. Trump also mentioned today, you should add the U.S. cannot tolerate Chinese interference in America's core interests. And then, as Mr. Trump also tossed in Greenland, the same core interest principle applies with our adversaries, Russia and China, who are kind of nosing around, not simply for some rare earth minerals, but building a stronghold for the Air Force or naval power. President Trump also threatened Canada with 25% tariff if they don't cooperate on our northern border. Now, Trump's trolling of Justin Trudeau about Canada becoming the 51st state basically kneecapped the left-wing prime minister right out of the ballpark and into retirement. And finally, speaking of tariffs, a recent Washington Post article that President Trump was pulling back on his universal tariff plans were, as Mr. Trump put it, fake news. Now, a hat tip to the brilliant economist and my dear friend Larry Lindsay for pointing out that U.S. imports run about $5 trillion a year. So a 10% broad-based, ring-around-the-collar tariff would produce roughly $500 billion a year, and that would more than cover Mr. Trump's tax cuts and then some. Now, tariffs aren't inflationary. Only excess money is inflationary. But meanwhile, the European Union has value-added taxes, which are essentially tariffs, and those tariffs run around 20%, and the world has lived with it for a very long time. All this suggests to me that just like his big, beautiful tax and border bill, Mr. Trump knows exactly what he's talking about, and he is a negotiator extraordinaire. And that's the riff.